It might be set out a little while, but
They're pretty good. Like y'all got some.
Tums will be all right. Table
I
Tums.
was debating on getting somebody for dinner last night. I'm glad I
Okay.
That forward, backward.
Okay.
That's the way it always is.
Bad news.
I'll eat Mexican for lunch. And then you home my wife's like,
Okay.
let's go to Mexican tonight.
Good deal.
Thanks,
Thank
no,
you.
man.
Do you go back and eat it?
Oh, heck yeah, man.
My stomach was, ooh.
We hate Mexican. I love
Yeah,
it.
go
I didn't say that it was a smart decision.
Sorry, said Connie's got a pretty good cheeseburger.
I mean, basically.
Who?
He said it's the best cheeseburger in
Marcus. Well,
It's a big spread.
That's a lot of food.
Yeah, when I picked it up, I was like, wow.
Let me get a picture of that. Put it on Facebook.
There you go.
There we go. Hey, you posted that picture of me with the paintbrush yesterday. He had us looking for section corners and he got me a paintbrush.
Did it help?
Forget about that. Take an archaeologist out there.
Shovel.
Sorry for that garden wall.
All right, we have, today, it's recorded, all of this is
Oh, great.
recorded. HRC, who has been a regular company visiting our program, going to tell us about what they do and the job opportunities. And of course, thank you for coming. And thank you for the food. You certainly come above and beyond our expectations. Thank you, appreciate it. We are looking to hear about opportunities in terms of summer internships, co-ops, and also what sort of opportunities for graduate students. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us here. Thank you a lot. We enjoy our trip to Troy. Today's going to be a quick down and back to work. We usually try to come down the night before and take some guys out to dinner, so apologize that didn't get to do that this time. We're just a lot of work going on. But anyway, a little bit about HRC. We're in Douglasville, Georgia, which is just on the west side of Atlanta. We're about 25 miles from downtown Atlanta to our office. Anybody been to Six Flags over Georgia before? So we're in that area on that side of town. We're probably another 10, 15 miles west of the Six Flags. Most people in Atlanta think our office is in Alabama, okay? So we're only about 30 miles inside the state line there. So we kind of get jokes about that when we talk telling people in Atlanta where we're at. Think we're in Alabama. So we're doing a lot of work in Alabama and in Georgia in the metro area there. We are here and want to come back here, every semester. We're looking for young guys that want to be, and girls, that want to be professional land surveyors. And that's their track. That's their career track that they want to be on. We want to be able to help young people find their way to becoming a professional land surveyor. So we know that through that you guys are required to do several internships before you, get your graduation done. And so we're looking for interns that want to come work with us over the summer or any semester. And we're looking for full-time hires also. Our company, we're about 35 people right now. We typically run anywhere from 4 to 6 survey crews a day, depending on what's needed and what's needed inside the office and out. So got some guys that are kind of flex, if you will, where they work in the office and in the field on different days. We love the idea of, like I say, having the young guys and bringing you through our program. And actually the idea is to, have you in the field for 18 months to 2 years, and depending on what your desires are, but also to start getting guys into the office and learn, the other part of surveying, not just the field surveying. So we like to promote from within is what I'm saying. And what we've been doing, what we have found is that by hiring, young graduates, it just worked very well for us in doing that. So that's what we're here looking for, and that's what we want to do. We want to mentor young professionals in helping them get to the point of where they want to be. Because I would say, my guess is a lot of you guys have got that entrepreneurial spirit too. You want to work for yourself, but you can't just go out and you got to get that experience to be able to sit for those tests and get your professional surveyor license. So we feel like, if you come work for us 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 35 years, you know, we're gonna have a good relationship, and it's gonna work out for both of us. We'll be winners, and so will you guys.
How many graduates do you have?
So how many?
Graduates.
Troy's, so right now, we don't have any. So we've had some guys in the past that have worked with us a couple of years and then have moved on to other survey jobs. And we've had interns before also from Troy. But the you know, what happened in the day after, the Monday after you couldn't find toilet paper on Friday, do y'all remember that day? Kind of slowed some of those relationships down. You know, it's hard to do a virtual interview with folks without, you know, we like to look you in the eye. So that's why we're coming back down here. But anyway, we're ready to get back to that track going again and getting some guys up here working with us. We have secured housing for this summer. So if anybody's worried about, well, I don't have a place to live in Atlanta, we've got a place secured, a house in Villarica, which is even a little bit closer to Alabama on the west side of town. And it's probably 10, 12 miles from our office that we've got there. And this is the 6th career fair, presentations I've done this spring. So we've got a lot of guys that we're talking to, a lot of folks that we're talking to, and trying to figure out exactly who's coming, who's not. But survey is high priority for us. We know at HRC that we can grow our survey department as there's no limit to what we can grow it to. So we're young. In that, out of our 35 people, I'd say 25 of those are maybe 30, 31 or younger. So we're young, so there's a lot of opportunity to grow. And like I said earlier, we like to promote from within, and that's basically what we're doing right now. So, you want to add anything to that?
No, other than we are immediately looking for new hires. We want to bring on some new hires immediately, and summer internships. We absolutely want some of those as well immediately. So, you know, we're ready. If you guys, spring's here, let's get a diploma. Let's go to work. That's what we're looking for. I think we've kind of talked about, you know, from previously, we came in the fall, what we do, we're in site development mostly, our whole company. So you get all kinds of aspects of surveying involved in what we do, different projects, different types of surveying. I mean, it runs the gamut. So you get a ton of good experience. Like Daryl kind of talked about, we've got a program that we've kind of set up about how we want to make sure we track you as a professional, spending that time in the field. You know, we think is invaluable. I think we've said that before. You got to get that time in the field. It earns you street cred essentially when you get on up into a management position. It's a field position, and then it's a technician kind of position after that you progress into, and then more of a project management position. And when you get that RLS, that certificate, that license, then we throw you into a professional role of helping guide overall projects, helping us retain clients, helping us go find new clients, helping us generate new work, all that kind of fun stuff. So we're looking for guys who are eager, who want to work, who want to learn, we want to help people learn, we want to help grow you. And you mentioned, Daryl said, you know, some people are, you know, entrepreneurs, want to own their own place. That doesn't scare us. I mean, if that's what you want, you come to work with us, we're going to help train you and give you good experience that you can go out and be successful on your own. Because we feel that if our employees are successful, we're going to be successful, whether that's with us or without us, you know. And if we help you attain your personal goals, you'll help us attain our company goals. So that's how we feel about that. We want you to stay with us. I mean, we want everyone to be long-term employees. There's no doubt about that. But we've got guys and ladies, you know, they have goals that involve what we do. They involve things that we don't do professionally as well. And we make good, strong efforts to make sure that they attain those. So we want you to grow as a person, you to grow as a professional.
So some things that we do, along with that is we try to every year have some type of mentoring program. And like right now, what we're doing is we have like, I think 6 mentors, and then each one of them have groups of 2 to 4 people that they're mentoring. And it's not necessarily mentoring to make you a better surveyor, but the idea is more about mentoring you to become a better person per se. And they're talking about a lot of different things as they go through that, and they're making, I think, some really good strides. And it's not really about, the mentoring is not about the business of HRC. It's more about the person, okay? So in the past, we've done one-on-ones before. We've done something else that has been highly successful for us that we've got another round that we're going to do in the fall. It's called Create to Elevate.
It's kind of like Shark Tank.
Yeah, so it's a Shark Tank thing. What we've done in the past is we've grouped up the folks that work for us in teams of probably about 4 to 5 maybe. And the idea was to bring back an idea that, either makes HRC better, makes our clients better, or makes the HRC better for the employees, okay? And what we did was we limited them to, anybody make it to the state science fair in here, with those cardboard flop things? Well, got one back there that said he made it to state, okay? Anybody do all county? What about all 8th grade?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
You won that.
In your school.
So they had to present a cardboard,
So what we did was, since we've got civil engineers, landscape architects, and land surveyors, we didn't want the presentation to outweigh any other presentation. Put everybody on a level playing field, and those cardboards did it, okay? And so anyway, they came back to us. It was me and Aaron, my brother Howard, and then Shay that's with us. We were like the Shark Tank people up front. They each came up and presented. The one that came in first place was, how to get to where we could work from home in some fashion, okay? So they laid out, how much experience you needed to be, how much, knowledge you had of what you were doing and what you could do on your own, and all of these things, talking about getting laptop computers and this, that, and the other. So that ended up winning first place, which we're old school guys. We think you're supposed to come in, we chain you to your desk, and then, 5:36 or so, maybe we'll unlock you, right? So we were a little bit skeptical about it, but they came up with a good plan. What was really, really good about it was we had just gone through that right before the Monday you couldn't find toilet paper on Friday, okay? So we were kind of set up on how we could move into what we were kind of being, requested to do for 2 weeks, which turned into a lot more than 2 weeks, right? So it worked out for us, and then we were able to get laptops for all of our folks, and then within a week, the next week, you couldn't find laptops. So it had us really ready and set up to be able to make that move. And then, our survey construction side, the guys out on the outside were essential workers. Now we had to separate trucks and all that stuff for a little while, but, we were able to keep going. Our billing didn't go down at all. We were able to do the same amount of work through all of that, and really it's been really good for us, okay? I'm gonna keep moving here. The one that came in, I'm not sure what place they came in, but we had been wanting to get DOT certified for survey. And we had one group that basically came in and got us certified. And really it wasn't that it was a hard task. It was like 200 pages of forms that we were never gonna stop and fill out, okay? But they got it done, and we got,
Well, all we had to do was go to the bottom and sign our name.
They came and interviewed us and got the information they needed and put it in there. I mean, then we're on this DOT list now. Trying to think here, the other was training, and they really opened our eyes to, hey, when our guys are getting here, we're sending them out in the field and saying, get at it and we'll give you a check on Friday. So had us back up a little bit and talk about our training and how we do. Now we've got what we call HRC University. So, you know, once we get all of our interns set up and we've got some new hires, we'll probably have one of these HRC universities, you know, May 15th, May 20th, or whenever, you know, we get all of our kids kind of set up on being there.
Well, which HRC University is essentially like a 2-day onboarding program, really.
Yeah.
So it's as simplistic as how we do our timesheets to as complex as, you know, what's the process if you get a new job, right? How do you get that job bid and rolled and set up and active and going and all those kind of things. So it's elementary to some high level stuff. But we think that's good rather than, because we had people that came in and said, well, you just sat me down and said, go to work. I got these documents and I didn't know where to file them. So it's about our filing system and all that.
And I think too, on the survey side for the field crew guys too, you know, it implemented a, every Wednesday morning, you know, even if it was just 30 minutes, but some of the senior survey guys talking with everybody about how we go about doing our daily process on the survey side in the field. You know, or even once you get done with your day, what do you do with all that data that you've just come back with? And how do you get it, you know, transferred to that? So the training part became a really good one for us also. And what we did was we gave them, they all had a long weekend down at St. Simons, Georgia, on the coast of Georgia, just north of Jacksonville, Florida. Did that. And then second place was a long weekend for the person and their spouse at Callaway Gardens, which you guys probably have heard of that. And then the real winners were the third place guys that we gave like $200 each to, and they walked out of there with cash, you know? So I think in the end, and they were mad about being in third place because they thought they had the first place.
They were mad about third place, but when they got that $200
Yeah,
like a gift card, they said, we'd rather have this than the weekend trip.
Yeah, so that worked out pretty good. We're not a big corporation. We're a small family-owned business. You know, as we're growing, you know, we're having to probably become a little more corporate-minded in how we manage all of the people. When you've got, you know, 35 people that are, when they all come in and want off on the same day, you got to be able to manage that. So we're working through a lot of those things right now. Throw this out there. A couple of years ago, we tried, you know, we were running about 3 million or so a year. It was like, you know, what do we got to do? How do we get to 5? Well, we didn't do a whole lot different, but in 2021, we hit 5 million. So now we're saying, okay, how do we go from 5 to 10? And how do we go from this, you know, 30 something people to 50 people? And we're working on that. You know, we're actually, some of us guys that have always been working in the business, we're stepping back now and doing a little more work on the business, okay? And making sure we've got plenty of work and we're, you know, like I say, generating the work for people and backfilling it with people that can get the work done while we're, you know, bringing in another job and those things. So that to me, there's a lot of growth that we have the opportunity for here. Love to get a couple of guys from this school up there with us to help us out. I'd say unless you got something else, have you got any questions or anything for us?
Equipment, what kind of equipment?
Equipment?
Yeah.
We almost exclusively use Trimble equipment. We do have a single Sakia that we use. Where all of our equipment is pretty much, everything on a daily basis is robotic total stations and GPS equipment. We have a few conventional that we just use as emergency backup kind of things. We don't have any drones right now. So I know drones is a big thing. We don't own a drone. We have a strategic partnership with another company who we utilize for our drone work essentially. But Trimble, is the field equipment in the office. We're using Civil 3D, Autodesk, that software, some Carlson software as well. So that's pretty much what we're using most of those. You have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how many employees do y'all have? Like y'all said, y'all was family owned.
We're about 35 people. 35 total, and that's across surveying, engineering, and landscape, architecture. Yeah. So,
And equipment too, we drive some really nice F-150s.
yep.
It's your job to keep it clean.
They're all, except for one, they're all less than 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. One of them's a Lariat, even. Very
Yeah.
nice. So it's way nicer than it should be for a field crew.
He got there probably a little quick.
It got there a little quick, but it's out there. So
46. That's what he said, 46 a day.
46 field crew.
4 to
6.
4, 5,
to-
or 6.
Yeah.
4, 5, or 6, not 46. No, we don't. You know.
4 trucks.
But we're at a point now where we're actually having to turn down some work that we just can't get to it quick enough for some of those the clientele. So we're picking what we say is winners and losers. You know, we definitely the winners. You know, we might have a client that's doing, I don't know, let's say 1,000 lots a year. Well, if he's got a small survey he wants, we're going to do that for him because we also want those 1,000 lots that he's doing there. So residential right now is booming. Y'all probably see it here. We saw stuff on our way down from the Montgomery area, that D.R. Horton up there, that Pike Road areas. Anybody know that area? You know, that's stuff's going, you can see it there. So it's going crazy. We've got a big project. How many lots are in Opelika that we have?
370.
370. We got some we're looking at in Warrior, Alabama.
Warrior, Alabama. Yep. That one's about 1,200 acres, honestly.
Okay, so that could be really big also. So, you know, we feel like we're in West Georgia, so we definitely want to capture as much of Alabama as we can and the metro area. So we think we're strategically placed right there also. Our office is maybe a 30-minute drive to the airport, which is, you know, the busiest airport in the world, you know, so people can get in and out. We're seeing a lot of warehouse stuff, distribution centers, you know, because of the ports in Savannah and Charleston being widened. There's a lot of product that's moving through Atlanta. So, you know, what we found too, I mean, I'd say, how many of your moms and dads started buying stuff on the internet in the last 2 or 3 years where they never would have even thought about it previously, okay? So what's gonna happen is we're not gonna have to go deal with Walmart and the nasty parking lot and the people walking around in their bedroom shoes and pajamas, right? We'll be able to order it online, right? But they gotta have a place to store all that product. So we're doing a lot of those. We've got one we call the Big Bomber coming up. That's gonna be like 1.2 million square feet under roof. So y'all are surveyors, how many acres is that?
Oh. He's gonna get his calculator out. Good job.
At least he
Good
knows
job.
how many
Good
square
job.
feet are in an
Good
acre.
job. 24 is my guess.
You got
Oh, he's got, no, somebody help him out. Somebody help him out.
1.2
Somebody help him out.
square feet.
You said 1.2 million?
1.2 million square feet.
27.5.
27 is the
27,
number I
27 and a
remember.
half, right?
Of acres under one roof, okay?
A 27 and a half acre building.
Building, so
It is.
outside, it's got truck doors lined up and down through there, and you got places to park truck trailers and everything, you know, and those are big sites, so that's big, but we're doing those in, we've got North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia, but we're doing those.
I was joking about that. I was set, the email I sent the other day. We've probably done,
Yeah.
looked at about 10 million square feet in the past 4 or 5 years of industrial. So that's booming too.
Yeah,
I'll give y'all a quick story. I'm pretty sure I've told this before. The very first building we did that was that large, it was about 1 million square feet. We did up in a place called Cartersville, Georgia. And it was actually a rug manufacturer. And we became good acquaintances with the construction company and one of the guys, the superintendent there. And I was joking with him one day. I was like, he asked us to set building corners on this freaking 20 acre building. And I said, Scott, that was his name. Scott, how close, how close do we need to be with this, with our tolerances? He's like, I need y'all to be balls on, nothing, you can't, I gotta have this building squared up. All right, cool, no problem. But the guys go out there and they start, traversing down this building, the one side of the building. And it was freaking 3,000 feet down the building. And they came back and they said, there's no way we can do this, you know, with that tight of a tolerance. Because we were essentially doing a 20-something acre traverse, you know? And if y'all done traverse reduction, you know, if you think you're really gonna get 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, give me a break, right? It's just not reality. But this guy was joking with me, he's like, you better not be off, because if you're off on my concrete, it's gonna be more than your contract is with us, so buddy, you better be right.
You can buy a little bit.
You're gonna buy some concrete, but, you know, it was all fine, it was all worked out, he was just joking with us, giving us a hard time. But when you look down a 3,000-foot line, that's just the building, you know, it's amazing to look at that and see that much stuff.
I'm gonna go back to the residential stuff though, so you can help me name some of these folks that we're working for that y'all probably seen their signs or seen, but it's D.R. Horton's, like one of the largest home builders in America. Smith Douglas.
You know, they're now Century Communities.
Century Communities, you know, maybe just kind of start looking for their signs when you're seeing your subdivision or whatever.
LGI Homes.
LGI Homes is huge,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And these are nationwide home builders that we're working with, and we're, here again, we're trying to mine them also and, you know, expand our reach in the home builders like that also. So somebody tell me, where's Douglasville, Georgia?
Point to it's that way.
Wait a minute, where's the sun coming in right now?
This is north right here,
All right,
and then.
north of here,
Yeah.
northeast of here?
Yeah, y'all northeast of here. 30 miles west of downtown Atlanta.
That's right. So so let's see here, you get a new pen for that.
Oh, you're like, okay.
You didn't realize there's prizes?
Yeah, all right, yeah. No, one up there.
So who lives closest, who's from the closest spot in, to Douglasville in here?
I'm from Georgia, I don't know if it's.
What city?
Colquitt, Georgia.
Yeah, Colquitt, Colquitt, I need to learn how to say it, Colquitt.
I graduated from Pell City, it's on 20.
Yeah, that's about,
Between like Oxford and Birmingham.
that's it. Pell City Panthers.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
We got
it's
a
about
job
an hour
on
and a
that,
half.
man.
Yeah, we're working
We
on
got-
that.
I just graduated there, I don't live there now.
So, but we're working at Lincoln Harbor, you know what I'm talking about,
Yes,
on the
sir.
lake?
Yes, sir.
So
Big
we got-
jumping rock, have you ever jumped off the
I
rock?
did jump off that
I
rock.
haven't
That's
taken-
on that
it's been
property.
20 years, but I have before.
Yeah.
So you're probably closer, because Colquitt's probably another 3.5, 4 hours from us, I would guess. Now, from here to our office is about 3 hours. You know, so guys that want to come back for Saturday football games, it's not that far away. Get back for those either. Y'all gonna have a good team this year?
Probably not.
We got a new coach.
New football coach?
Yes, sir.
You had one here for like 25, 30 years for a while
Barry
there.
Blakeney, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he
Did
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 right.
they let Lindsay go?
They did, fired him this year. He's OC with Gus now at UCF. We got John Sumrall. He was here with Neil Brown whenever we were good, like 4 years ago.
Gotcha.
We played Georgia State, so that's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played there this year.
Season openers on Miss at Grove.
Go Troy. I'm a Mississippi State guy, okay? Screw Ole Miss. I've got a lot more sayings for them too. We won't go into those. One-on-one, I'll tell you.
Let me reiterate what Daryl said, he went through kind of quickly. We have, if you're considering, if you'd like to come to work with us full-time or just internship this summer, we have housing available and ready for you, so that's, should not even be a concern to you about, how am I gonna get there, where am I gonna stay? We got it covered, so.
And that house is not downtown Billerica, it's on the, it's a smaller town.
It's right in front of the First Baptist Church.
Yeah.
So
We'll have the preacher.
we'll have the preacher come knock on the door, he might, check on you.
Has
But
anybody ever heard of Robert Earl King in here? You know that song he's got, Front Porch Song, where they're playing songs on the front porch on Sunday mornings, waiting for the Presbyterians to let out of church. Anyway, if you know who that is, you need to go find that song. That's one of his famous songs on that. I think they were playing their guitars in their underwear too, so something on that.
How many licensed surveyors do you have on staff?
Right now, it's just me. Yep. We have had a few. We've lost them due, attrition, moved on somewhere else, but I'm the singular one right now. We are on a mission to change that.
Yep, on a mission to change that. We've got, so how many right now do we have that have passed the fundamentals of land surveying?
Yeah, let's tell you. We have one,
So you got,
two, I think maybe three.
got three, that are on that track to get theirs, okay? So they've already passed the fundamentals test, which, you got to do that, right? And then, we've got a couple of guys I know that are staging up to get there, to take that test probably this fall, on that. And then, I'm not sure, and you'd have to help me out here maybe on maybe the requirements.
Did he get it?
Jesse,
Yeah.
this guy right here's been with us for forever, okay? And, he's probably the best one of the best field surveyors we've ever had. And right now, he's basically running our day-to-days inside the office, with that. But he doesn't have the piece of paper to go along with what he knows.
He wasn't grandfathered in.
Right. And, but we trust him, and he does a good job with training the guys too, and those kind of things. But anyway, one thing we say too is that we don't really encourage you to get your professional land surveying license. We demand it. We want to do everything we can do to help you get there, okay? That's either helping you out with study materials, having people around you that help mentor you, that have already done it, taken it recently, that have the steps to get there. I know that, I've got several guys that, in the landscape architecture, that they even take the test, to get registered in Mississippi, and then they transfer back to Georgia or the other states. So even if you wanted to do it while working for us, you could still get your license in Alabama first, if that's where you wanted your first license to be. That's allowed. Give them a quick rundown of the differences on land lots versus Alabama, Georgia versus Alabama, some of those survey differences. Got any quick hitters on that?
No, I don't,
Do
unfortunately.
these guys, Alabama, do land lot and section and districts,
Sections, townships, so.
sections
public
and
lands.
townships?
Right, but I don't know, do you look at that in some of your classes? The public sector, right, but the original 13 colonies, like
Yeah,
We
Georgia.
handle that with
How
them.
we,
That's the meets and bounds, right? And then-
yeah, but it's Georgia, so you have sections, townships, right, in Alabama. Georgia's very similar. We have districts and land lots essentially, and really a cool history thing. This was cool to me. Georgia's was established and they granted land as payment for service in the army, in the military. So they granted that, you got 2,000 acres and it, comprised 50 land lots or whatever. And so that was part of that. And based on your rank in the army, if you were a lieutenant, corporal, sergeant, whatever, that determined how much land you got, where you got it as well.
So I'm
Georgia.
thinking that your great-great-grandparents, they didn't get real high in the army. No, I'm just teasing.
And some of it was really cool. If you look at Georgia, and this is, if you'll allow me to teach a class a little bit on Georgia, it's really cool. Up in the northern part of Georgia is what they have the gold lots. And they're about 40 acres, a land lot is, okay? And they're the gold lots because gold has been found in North Georgia, right? So those had a certain value. And then as you transition down to the Piedmont area, land lots got larger because they use those for farming and agriculture, right? So they had different values associated with the land lots. The ones down where we are, they're typically about 200 acres as opposed to the gold lots being 40 acres. And then way down in South Georgia, they got much larger, 1,000, 2,000 acres because of, again, agriculture. So it's kind of cool. I thought that kind of stuff. The history of what we do, to me, want to nerd out on that a little bit, I guess. So, sorry.
So, but one of the guys that we've recently hired, he actually, a Mississippi State kid, got an ag engineering degree, but he got the survey certificate. That's been working with us now 2 years.
Mhm.
Anyway, when he first started with us, the first thing he went and did was tried to find the corner of what, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. What's that called? Something wrong?
Ellicott's Rock.
Yeah. Y'all heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Did I get that right? It's Ellicott?
Ellicott, Alabama, right?
No, it's Elliott's Rock, man. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
wait,
Ellicott's
Ellicott's
Alabama. It's Elliott's. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So anyway, I thought, he was into the history of it, he'd gone to school in Mississippi, but he had, he knew he wanted to find that point there that was, significance, historic significance. And I think that's where we kind of got screwed over on the land or the water rights of the Chattahoochee and the Tennessee River too, for the state of Georgia anyway. A
When you
small
let loose
mistake.
these guys in the bush, they're like a wild animal, digging all over.
I tear it up with a paintbrush, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So y'all got any other questions or anything?
I got one. You said, y'all doing work in, or somewhere, I can't remember, you said in Alabama, do y'all travel a lot?
So I would say that 9.9 days out of 10, you're in your bed every night, you're on bed. So we don't do a lot of out-of-town travel. Now, we're licensed in 14 different states on the engineering side, and we've done a lot of stuff all across the country. And typically when we do that is we'll hire a local surveyor to help us, and it gives us somebody, if we need somebody to go to the courthouse or go to the city hall or those kind of things, gives us somebody, some boots on the ground there. And what's crazy in my mind is I don't know if y'all, I'm assuming you do that, Google Earth, it's unreal how you can look at a piece of property and even go back in time on it. From my side of it, a lot of times I need to know what the speed limit of the road is, or if there's a water line there, so I can call it the little man, drop him down there. Well, I can walk right down that road, and if there's a fire hydrant there, it lets me know there's water, right? And then I can see if it's 45 miles per hour, or, whatever. I can see power lines over and stuff like that. So it's been good for us to be able to do projects. So we've done things in Montana, California, several in Texas, Arizona, Illinois, Indiana, and all the southern states.
Just landed one in Virginia.
Yeah, we just landed one in Virginia too, up in Fredericksburg. Wow.
But as far as survey wise, if it's in the southeast, we've done survey work as part of the team in pretty much every southeastern state, to be honest with you. So, but yes, to his point, we do travel, we do have out of town work. It's not extremely common. And I tell this to everybody, and even our guys, our employees, the longest anybody's ever stayed out of town with us has been 1 week. So we realize there's quality of life, you know what I mean? If we have a job, and we have, where it's taken 6 or 8 weeks to get something done that's out of town, we cycle our crews through, you know what I mean? So you got a week out of town, which is, to me, sometimes it's a nice little retreat, to be quite honest with you. But it's not that you go out of town for 3 or 4 months at a time and you're on the road.
When I was y'all's age too, I thought it sounded glamorous to travel, with work. It gets old in a hurry. The Holiday Inn Express gets old. And there's only so much knowledge you can get from staying in a Holiday Inn Express last night.
That's
right? So.
Not a lot, not a lot.
I got you.
It's enough to make it interesting, but not enough to get monotonous. Terrible.
So how many of you guys in here are getting ready to graduate? Okay, good numbers. So how many of y'all have already got jobs you've taken? Got one here? There you go. So I need your resume. What about, do any of y'all still have an internship to do as well as graduation?
We all do, but we're all just like rolling on with that.
Right. So what about the other guys? Y'all got internships. How many you got to do? 2 before you graduate?
Yes.
Okay. So most of you other guys looking for your first internship?
I've done one, I got one more left.
Right. If you do that, then you don't have to worry about that summer
Right.
after you graduate and stuff too. What about you?
I have one first from the summer.
You got your first in the summer, do you already have something lined up? You do? What about you two guys up here? Already something lined up?
Yes, sir.
So how much they paying you for your internships?
Gotta negotiate.
I think around 18,
Around 18?
I should've said 42, man.
$65 an hour.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's probably about the going price. Things are, price of gas and everything's going up. So what about you guys that's got jobs? Jobs, what they paying you? Are they paying y'all hourly or they paying you salary?
Hourly.
Love the salary.
You on salary? Because what we do is we try to give a choice. We let the guys, we say, we're gonna either pay you this salary or we'll pay you this hourly. And in our mind, it all works out to be the same at the end of the day, right? That we know you're gonna have X amount of overtime hours on an hourly thing, you know, and you're gonna have rain days and this, that, and the other in salary. So, you know, we let our guys choose that are on a professional path, you know what I'm saying? You know, guy will go pick up on the corner at Home Depot to just carry steaks, you know, probably not gonna get that same treatment. But so have y'all talked about what the going rate is? Y'all need to know.
22 to 26 probably.
22 to 26 starting out.
Mid-20s.
Some cases you get.
Oh, a little lower in Alabama, someplace.
Yes. lower.
Anybody paying you relocating expenses, sign-on bonuses?
Signing bonus.
We've got a program, it's a sign-on bonus, but we're calling it a relocation expense. We'll give you a certain pot of money, come to work for us for 2 years, you're free and clear of it. You know, you leave us within that 2 years, you pay us back prorated amount. So it's a sign-on bonus essentially. Because again, like we said, we want to get people in, come to work for us, so that we can help grow.
Right.
That's it. Right. So we haven't had anybody yet that's left that had to pay it back, I don't think.
No.
Yeah. So
How much is it roughly they all give?
it's anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, you know, which is a heck of a nice little living expense, to be honest with you.
Yeah, especially if you got your mom and dad helping you move.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to pay them.
What's the rates like in Georgia? Just roughly.
So I'd say you kind of spot on. I'd say for our graduates, you know, we're probably between 45 and 52 as our starting, you know, which would be your 2250 to 27, something maybe, something like that. So that's kind of where we're at. Like I said, we pay the employees' health insurance, so that's worth about $500 a month on that. We have a 401k program, which we highly encourage everybody to get into immediately. With that, basically, our program works where if you put in $1, we match 50 cents. And as soon as our 50 cents goes in there, it's yours to keep. So if you left, you get to keep every dime. Where back in the day, my 401k programs, when I started, they were basically, you had to be there so many years before you get half of it, so many more years before 75%. And if you left before 7 years, you know, it's usually about 7 years before you got every 50 cents that the company put in. And then what we do also is that if you put in 6% of your salary, you know, that gets 3 from us. If you go to 7, then we go to 4. So you can get to 11 there by doing that, right? So it's, you know, just a little bit more. And at y'all's age, as you first get started, don't get the first paycheck without starting that 401k program. You know, when you get, you know, my age and older, you'll be glad you started when you was 22, 25, whatever. Don't wait around to get started on that.
That's life advice.
Don't say you'll do that,
Life
yeah.
advice.
Don't say I'll do that next year or I'll do it immediately. If it's offered to you, do it.
We do bonuses, we do a bonus program, bonuses twice a year in the summer and then around, you know, Christmas essentially.
Yeah.
Been doing that for quite a while. Yeah, quite a while.
Over 15.
Yeah.
The only year we didn't do bonuses was in '08 when we didn't have anybody working for us except for me and Aaron and my brother. And at that point, it was like we were making sure we was gonna have a business when things came back. We made a point we was gonna survive, and we did.
We have a pretty generous PTO program as well.
Yeah.
It's 8 days or something your very first year, and then after that, it's 3 weeks. On top of the 10 holidays that we take on top of that, we have some unofficial days that we also take. Unofficial, that means it's not in the policy book, kind of things that we come in and say, guys, y'all cut out early today.
Which is part of us not being a corporation. We're able to
4th of July,
sometimes fly
whatever.
by the seats too.
Go have a good weekend, kind of thing. So, we're not that strict with those kind of things. You don't have to deal with the HR department and worry about my PTO time, and I got 0.37 hours left, or, we don't treat people that way. So. Anything
So,
else?
I don't know if you've got any other classmates that are looking, for internships or whatever, but we're definitely seeking, guys or,
We try to get them here, they don't check their emails, so.
I understand, not until they, like you guys, hey, I'm getting ready to graduate, or it's time for me to do an internship. I know the story, but, I'd say too that, you get in those first jobs, y'all get, a little itch in your seat, where we're at.
Sure.
Where are y'all, going? Location wise?
I don't see.
Panama City, oh man.
No, that place.
Did you see all the jumps going on down right now?
Yeah.
You sure you wanna go there? Are you sure?
Well, it's really Freeport.
Okay, all right. So Panama City, where are you headed?
Well, I'm sitting in Troy.
Staying here? Where you going? Tim, right?
Yes, sir. Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, man.
Beautiful up there.
Jason Love.
What?
Jason Love.
Chasing love, does that mean he's getting drugged there?
That's voluntary.
Voluntary?
Voluntary. By choice,
Who else, where you going?
You follow.
Oh, man, I know who you're going. You don't need to go, you follow.
Where you going, man?
He's listed about 18
said,
states at one point.
I've heard everything.
What's your name?
Reagan,
Reagan, where you from?
Elba.
Elba?
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes from here,
Okay, what direction?
south.
Okay.
He loves the Braves.
Shoot,
Hey,
yeah.
man,
that.
World Series champs.
Hey,
It's here today.
The drink out here bringing the
What?
trophy.
The trophy's here today.
really?
What?
Yeah,
They got it.
7 will be in the gym.
So we actually,
He's the legend, right?
the day they did the parade in Atlanta, we closed the office and everybody either went to Atlanta to the parade or over to the Battery where they came through, or
We went to the bar.
we went to the local bar and watched it on TV.
They're like, you wanna go downtown with all these people? I said, no, I wanna go to the bar.
Well, I told you, I was like, only if you drive
Yeah. So,
on that.
Yeah, they're bringing the trophy by today.
That's pretty cool.
4 to 7, they'll be here.
So now we have a lot of our employees that live up in that Smyrna area around there, and they love it. It's, a lot of young folks that live up there too, and it's not downtown, so you get to the city if you want to. You got the Braves Stadium right there. A lot of amenities that those guys like to have there, But we live out in the Villa Rica area. It's like I was telling somebody earlier that I'm a dirt road guy. I need a dirt road every once in a while, so I stay. I like where I stay, out there on the west side, and I can find a dirt road. We HRC, we have about 200 acres that we lease for hunting. We've had a couple of 10 points killed there. Turkey season opens this Saturday. I killed one last year on opening day.
that's a
on our
company
property.
perk that you don't.
That's a
very
company
often.
perk that we
Right.
have, I think hopefully that speaks to our culture of the kind of folks we've got. And we do it also, like I said, I've got several Mississippi guys that work for me that, if I can give them a place to hunt and fish, they're probably going to stick around a little bit longer than running back to Mississippi all the time to do that. So now it seems like I go to Mississippi more than they do right now, hunt and fish. But, anyway, we enjoy having that, for us too. And then during the, summer, you know, we shoot a lot of going, especially getting closer to dove season. We'll, go out there and shoot a lot of clays, sporting clays. And then we go to a big, dove hunt opening day there in, Whitesburg, Georgia. That's this past year. I have to show you a picture on my phone. We got a good shoot this past year for sure. Anyways, I see a couple of hats in here that might make me think y'all like to hunt fish. Oh, man.
I gotta clam my hat.
There you go. So, any other questions? I'd like to, you guys would like a t-shirt, we've got some t-shirts over here, got extra large, large, and mediums. And then any other paraphernalia, Coca-Cola can holders.
Yeah.
Up
Yeah, that's the one.
might work. And,
Milk colas.
Y'all seen those, right? Seen them before.
yeah, so what's funny about those two is I did hire a guy that, after I hired him or whatever, he was like, somebody was walking around campus with one of these jerseys. So that's what you gotta do, get them out, get the paraphernalia out there, across campus.
I've been walking into a Jersey in the Montgomery area, so HRC on my chest.
Yeah.
Has he been wearing our hat? Because in the fall, we hand out some hats too. Have you been wearing the hats?
He wears a hat every day.
He got soccer.
Every day, I don't know if I believe that.
No, every day he'll switch one out.
Hanging like an airing.
Anyway, and our business cards are here too, so, you know, I encourage you to grab one of those.
Anybody want a gray XL?
Excel, that ain't great.
White? You want a white? You want a gray or white?
White one.
You want a white? XL, you say XL too?
No, guys, I know you all, the general trend of our graduates, they tend to
You have a large and white.
piggyback on opportunities. All right,
I'll take a large
HRC
white
is
too.
offering some sort of a different flavor. If when you are working, please do not forget these guys. All right, so
Oh, I had it, boy.
I'll take a large white one. I'll take a large gray.
all right, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it
Thank you,
very
Dr.
much.
Raymond.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank y'all for much.
Appreciate
You're
you,
welcome.
appreciate being attentive.
Hey, Dr. Raymond, quick question. Did you get a GMI